Hi everybody! I want to talk about this game that I've been playing. I want to get a proper piece to start with for this game that I've been playing. This is not Tetris 2, and I love it. I also want to test out my mic settings because oh wow, that was already a disaster. Because I haven't done that in almost 2 years. So we need to get back into the swing of things one step at a time. We're just getting used to everything again. Yeah. So what better way than to nerd out about a game that I really like? Oh, that was almost a disaster. Wow. Okay, so I don't know if there's a not Tetris 1. I like to think. No, let's put that on the other side once I see what my next piece is. I like to think of this game as the sequel to Tetris that was never made. So it's not Tetris 2 rather than not Tetris 2. Wow. If you use words, sometimes they make sense, but that is an alien concept to me. So, as you know, because you know me, because, we're friends and everything, I think Tetris is the best video game ever made. I think it's the most perfect video game ever made. And I'm a huge fan. The Classic Tetris World Championship just happened not that long ago. I need to start doing something that I'm not doing here. This is going badly. And it was the best thing to watch ever. I had so much. Dang it! You cannot start with an S piece or a Z piece in this game. It just does not work. So let's talk about Tetris because it's so amazing and it's kind of important because this is the sequel that never existed. So I was playing Mario 3 Battle Mode with my girlfriend not that long ago, and she brought up that she thinks that's a better game than Tetris. Mario 3 or Mario 3 Battle Mode. I don't know what specifically, and I disagree. But it got me thinking about why, and this is good exercise for game design and understanding games. And I'm a huge nerd, as you know, because I love games so much. So here's the thing about Tetris. I call it, a perfect video game. It's not a perfect video game. It has perfect mechanics. There's a lot more to a game than its mechanics. So I guess I've misspoken. I just got 3 lines. Oh, I'm about to get 4 lines. Boom! I'm good at this game. Did I just say boom while playing a Tetris game? That's a little too trendy. I gotta be careful. It's just a word that I use sometimes, but not in this context. You have no idea what I'm talking about unless you've watched the tournaments. Oh, this is bad. Okay, so Tetris. Let's talk about Tetris. It's so good. So, and here's how I measure that. Okay, so Tetris. There have been a lot of versions of Tetris over the years. But over the years, the mechanics have not really changed. They've made some small adjustments, like the introduction of hold pieces, slight changes to the physics, more preview pieces. In classic Nintendo Tetris, the pieces stick immediately, but in Grandmaster Tetris, which is based on Sega Tetris, I believe, the pieces don't stick immediately. So, in Tetris the Grandmaster, the arcade games, I'm wearing glasses and I have to keep adjusting them constantly because they're old and I need to replace them. And I'm good at talking about tangents. This is just a mess what I'm building. What is happening? Okay. In TGM, they're able to have infinite gravity, they call it. The pieces fall immediately. They don't appear at the top of the screen. They fall immediately. And so you're forced to build up this sort of tower in the middle. So your piece lands on top of that, but you have time to slide it left or right. So there. Oh, and also ghost blocks. Is that what they're called? Ghost pieces, where you can see where it's going to fall, and quick falling mechanics. There have been some nice additions to Tetris over the years. But at its core, Tetris is always the same. You always have the same shapes, and you're always putting them in rows to clear lines, and they fall, and it's just, it's Tetris. Tetris is, I believe, the best-selling video game of all time. It was for a long time. I don't know if it still is in this modern era, but I believe it is. Somebody else can look that up and tell me. Clyseer. You're my fact checker, right? You don't have to. You know, I just wanted to mention your name. If you don't watch Clyseer videos, go watch Clyseer videos. Over Christmas break, he's going to be playing A Link to the Past randomizer. There's a rumor. I don't want to spoil it, but that's what I've heard him say. And Tarquin just finished his playthrough of A Link to the Past randomizer, and Tofu Boy has made some videos of A Link to the Past randomizer, and somebody else we all know might be playing A Link to the Past randomizer very soon. I just need to get all my recording setup done, and my software and hardware and everything all done, and I need to get used to talking to a camera again, because it's really hard and unnatural. This makes no sense what I'm doing right now. My cat is here staring at me like I'm a crazy person, but I mean, he does that no matter what I'm doing. I'm gonna have to let him out now. I mentioned him and he's embarrassed. It's okay. This game was a disaster. I'm just gonna let it run out. Hold on. You guys don't go anywhere. Just admire the scenery, and I will be right back because I have to take care of my cat. Oh, I'm gonna smooch your face first. Oh, squeak. Mwah. It's for the cameras. We don't actually like each other. No, he loves me. Oh, I game over while walking away. I discovered this game. I'm still talking. I know there's lots of sounds going on. Whatever. I gotta shake all the camera while I get into position. I discovered this game watching Jonas Neubauer play. Live stream on Twitch. He's the classic Tetris World Champion. 7-time classic Tetris World Champion out of 8 tournaments. He's won 7 of them. The other winner was Harry Hong. I don't remember what year he won. 2014? If you watched the Tetris documentary, Ecstasy of Order, the Tetris Grandmasters, whatever it's called, which was introduced to me by Tinky Dink. Ooh, another shout out. Man, I'm full of them today. Yeah, they're both in that, so you should know who they are, and they're still really good at what they do. They were the 2 finalists. Spoilers, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Seriously. It's the best ever. I love Tetris. But they were the finalists on the thing, and Jonas won because, you know, he's the best ever. And he's won every one since except for one time. Good job repeating everything I just said in a different way to make sure everybody understands it completely. Can you please? You're not gonna get in there, are you? I'm gonna put that on top anyway, and I'm just gonna be sad that it doesn't work. I need to clear lines to make... Anyway, so, what am I talking about? So he mostly plays classic Nintendo Tetris, because, you know, that's what the tournament is, and that's what he does. That's what he's amazing at. He's the best in the world. But sometimes he plays other games, and his wife is there, and she's great too. So, you know, go watch their streams. They're fun people, and they play fun games, and chat is fun, and I've never been a huge Twitch guy, and I guess I am now because I love his videos. There you go. But one day he was playing a bunch of Tetris variants that I guess he'd never played before, and this was one of them. And I fell in love watching him play it. This is my kind of game. I think it's my kind of game because I'm going to come back to this, but as you know, because you know me, because we're friends, I'm going to keep saying that. It's an important part of what I'm trying to do on the YouTubes. Certainly, I mean, I make videos for myself. I do, and I go back and watch them because they're entertaining, because I'm good at making the sort of videos that I would want to watch. It turns out I have succeeded. I have reached my goal in YouTube. How about that? I don't know. That's, at least, maybe my goal wasn't very ambitious. Some people want to make a living doing this stuff, and I just want to make videos that I enjoy. That's why there aren't any ads on my videos. In fact, if you see an ad on one of my videos, it's because a third party decided to copyright claim something in my video, usually erroneously, and it's very upsetting. And I fight them every time because it's really upsetting. Because I want ad-free videos. Whew, tangents. Tell you what, I don't even remember. Something Jonas, best Tetris ever. Oh yeah, I think I love this game because it's a modern take on a classic. And you know me, I love those sorts of games. You know, I love the Game Boy Advance Yoshi's Island. You know, it's better than the original, in my opinion. The Game Boy Advance Shining Force is better than the original, in my opinion. Those are just the sort of games that I love. I love that they're made. The Metroid Zero Mission is not the same game as the original Metroid, and I can't say I prefer either one. No, I probably prefer the original, but it's close. I really love that game. But Zero Mission is really great, and I'm a big fan of that game, that they made it, and it exists, and I like playing them both. So this is, like I said, this is the sequel to Tetris that never existed. Oh, I need to come back to that. Okay, Tetris. Let's talk about Tetris. I still need to talk about Mario. This video is going to be long, you guys. So this is not so much a PB attempt. I am trying to get my personal best up there. But mostly I just want to talk about this game. This game. Okay, Mario 3. Here we go. The way you can tell Tetris has better mechanics than Mario 3, or Mario, any Mario, pick your Mario, is because the mechanics in this game, I've talked about all the innovations, but despite all of those innovations, the mechanics in this game are still the same. You play the newest Tetris game, and it's still Tetris. You play the newest Mario game, and it does not resemble the original Mario Bros. Hardly at all. So I believe the battle mode in Mario 3 is a remake of the original Mario Brothers, right? Not Super Mario Brothers, Mario Brothers. It was an arcade game, and that's what it was. It was that battle mode, right? I think. I don't know how different the mechanics are. And also, we were playing the All-Stars version, which might have different mechanics from the original as well. I don't actually know too much. I wish I did. but whatever. It doesn't matter. For the sake of this, it doesn't matter. But, so you take that original Mario Bros., and you compare it to Super Mario Brothers, and they're different games. They have similar characters, similar mechanics, similar enemies, but they're different, and the physics are different. And then you compare that to, well, I guess the original Mario 3. Yeah, that was 5 lines. That's a thing that you can do in this game. I'll come back to that. The original Mario 2 was the same engine as the original Super Mario Brothers. The Japanese only Mario 2. I'm talking about. If you don't know, go find it. Lost Levels. It's called I think people call it Lost Levels these days. They don't even acknowledge it as Mario 2. But Mario 2, as we know it, is called Mario 2 US, I think. Yeah. Woo, history with Bertrudor. This is I'm so nerdy, and I'm mostly making up everything I say because I know nothing. So, except my opinion is always right. No, definitely not a fact at all. This game started off really great, and I built my well really well, and now it's just pieces. So it's time to start over. So, let me get my sniffles out. Boy, allergies. It's winter. Let's tuck this one like that, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, and then you compare that to Mario 3, and like the jump mechanics and the momentum, they're all very different. And then you compare that to Mario World, which I believe was originally advertised as Mario 4. Again, the jump mechanics are different. The running mechanics are different. The flying mechanics are different. So, at its foundation, Mario continues to be the same. You're just not over far enough. It's about this character who's always the same character. He just looks a little bit different, which is fine. Running and jumping and dealing with enemies and beating levels. Getting to the end of the level. That's your goal every time. Right? Oh, no. Wow, it isn't. In later Mario games, Mario 64 and later, it's not. You're trying to collect things. Huh. They really changed. Oh, that's a disaster. Changed the fundamental mechanic. Anyway, so that's how you know Tetris mechanics are better than Mario mechanics. Because you can't improve them. Because over all the years and all the innovations, it's not better. I mean, it's better in small ways. Whereas Mario, you can keep adding more and more and changing more, and it's a different game every time if you want it to be. And it's great, And Mario does a lot of great things that Tetris doesn't do, but in my opinion, as a game designer and as a video game player, Tetris is the most perfect video game ever designed. Because you just can't improve it. As far as mechanics. It has no theme and no flavor. It's an abstract puzzle game, and the sound is optional. You know, not like a lot of Mario games have amazing soundtracks. So, it's not perfect in every way. It's not the best game in every way. But, you know, like a game like Portal, which is another one of my all-time favorite games. The storytelling in that game is phenomenal. The presentation in that game is phenomenal. The characters, they're phenomenal. The sound design, you know, it's all this stuff in that game. Mechanics aren't quite as good as Tetris, but everything else just shines. The main reason I think Tetris is a better game overall compared to Portal, wow, I got a 64-point game. Ugh. Because it's so much more replayable. You can play through Portal a couple of times and enjoy it, but Portal you could play forever. If you had to pick one video game to play, well, let me not generalize quite so much. If I had to pick one video game to play for the rest of my life and I couldn't play any other video game, it would be Tetris. Because you can just keep playing it and keep getting better at it. And people have been playing Tetris for their entire lives, you know, like Jonas, and they keep getting better. He still can get better, and he can still challenge himself. The world record score in Tetris right now, I believe Corion, who's a Japanese player, has it, and it's 1.2 million points. I know Harry Hong also had that record, but I think Corion beat it. Barely. So, you know, after all these years, I'm talking about the original Nintendo Tetris, classic Tetris. After all these years, it's still competitive, and people are still getting better at it. That's unreal. How does a game accomplish that? Because it's great. Is how. That wasn't a rhetorical question. There is an answer. So let's talk about the original Tetris a little bit. I'm gonna burn a pair of lines here. Can't let my stack grow too tall, because that's a problem. Recipe for disaster. Tetris, the original Tetris. You have all these pieces. I'm gonna talk at the very fundamental level. I'm gonna get 5 lines again. I call that a pentris. I don't know what it's actually called, but to me it's a pentris. Because, you know, 4 lines is a Tetris, so, you know, it's a pentris. What was I talking about? The pieces are made up of 4 blocks. Every piece is made up of 4 blocks. So you have every possible combination of 4 blocks. That was bad. I am not going to be able to clear those lines. It's just flopping all over now. That might have been somebody knocking at my door. Hold on. It was apparently my cat. Regular interruptions are going to be a thing now. That's just a part of my life now. So we need to all accept it together or move on with our lives. But I don't want to move on, so I'm accepting it. I don't even remember. Oh, yeah, the pieces. So, and in this game, again, every block is made up, or I mean, every piece is made up of 4 blocks. So it's the same. It's still Tetris. In the original Tetris, you have a grid that's made up, it's 10 blocks wide. I don't know how tall it is. It's probably the same as in this game. But it's 10 blocks wide. And once you get 10 blocks lined up horizontally, it clears, and everything above that drops down that far, and you get points. And then once you get enough lines, your level goes up. Every time your level goes up, your speed goes up. Not every time, but, you know, typically level going up equals speed going up. And so the challenge is to survive as long as you can and get as many points as you can. Right. And everything moves within this grid in the original Tetris. Ooh, that was nice. That little block that slid down. It's not enough to clear it, but which I knew for reasons that I will describe as we get there. Yeah, I've been playing this game every day since I discovered it, and I've learned things about its mechanics that I didn't know just from watching somebody else play it. Hello, kitty. Are you ready to leave again? Is this a thing? He's forgotten how recording videos works. He thinks he can just come and go as he pleases. covering up that hole because I couldn't actually fit a piece in there. Okay, Oliver, I'm letting you out. I'm not gonna pause the recording this time because I want to smooch your face on camera again. Oh, I'll just let you out. Okay, I'm not gonna let you back in though. This is it. Bye. Oh, he's so cute. Such a good boy. Okay. Fun times. Boy, this is random. Just hanging out. We're just hanging out like friends, playing video games, because that's what we do. And I'm talking because that's what I do. Actually, I'm really bad at talking, but, you know, if I have a camera and nobody to talk to, I just have to ramble. And I'm really good at it. Let's not get my controller tangled with my headphones. Thank you. So everything that moves within its grid, blocks fall. No. Let me get my terms right. Pieces fall one block at a time. When you rotate a piece, it rotates 90 degrees. And when you clear a line, it clears the full line of blocks. And everything falls immediately, just descends down. That full, oh wow, that was not what I was expecting to happen. That full block. In this game, pieces are the same. They're made out of 4 blocks, but they don't move 1 block at a time. They move 1 pixel at a time. Every block is made up of pixels. When you rotate your piece, here, I'm gonna have to die and start over. When you rotate your piece, I'm just gonna push my rotate button once. It just goes. You immediately change its state from still to rotating, and it rotates at a constant speed. If you slam it up against the side, you can line it up. That's why you see me doing that a lot. You kind of have to. You lose control of your piece as soon as it touches another piece. Or it touches the bottom, of course. At that point, the next piece immediately spawns. Once you lose control of your piece. Oh, also gravity is a thing in this game. That's an important difference. In the original Tetris, you know, things just fell 1 block at a time, and when you cleared a line, they immediately shifted downwards, but there wasn't really gravity. In this game, everything's descending 1 pixel at a time, affected by gravity, and when this is not the right place for that piece, but I'm talking here. I have things to do other than play well. Then I can just plug up this a little bit like that. Sure. Let's do some of these things that getting distracted from what I'm saying. Okay. A thing. I forgot. Come on, get it together. We have things. Oh, that was just bad. Now I'm playing games. I'm not talking about games. I'm just narrating exactly what I'm doing. What's going on in my head? You need to turn the other way. Okay. So 1 pixel at a time. Ooh, that's gonna fall and land and clear up the bottom line. So yeah, it's harder. This board is still exactly 10 blocks wide, and it is possible, in theory, to squeeze 10 blocks side by side to clear a line. Fortunately, you don't actually have to do that. You know, in original Tetris, you need 10 blocks lined up. I mean, 300 something, that was garbage. To clear your line. In this game, you need 8 blocks plus a little bit. 8 blocks and a quarter, I think. That's my estimation. And it's a good thing. What that means is because filling in tiny gaps, it has to be pixel perfect, which is too much to ask for with these controls because everything is so slidey and so spinny. Oh, let's actually put this over here. And then we'll, put that one there. Nice, okay. So in this game, you don't want a gap between pieces. Like this, I'm putting this in this gap here, and I missed. The gap was more than pixel perfect, and yet I missed. That's embarrassing. Good job, me. Now I'm just never going to fill that in. Okay, well, this is ugly. Okay. So what you want is, and you can't start with L's and Z's. The other thing, in the original Tetris, once you touch down, you still have however many frames of movement before the block actually sticks. You know, in original Tetris, the block you're controlling has to try to occupy the space that is already occupied before you lose control of it. So once it's down at the bottom, you still have a few frames or whatever to move it, which means you can slide pieces into each other. That's just not the right place for that piece. I mean, it looks really nice, but it would give me no place to put this one. And looks don't matter. So, yeah. So in this game, you can't do that. As soon as it touches, you lose control, which means there's no sliding. So if you start with an L or a Z, not an L or a Z, an S or a Z, which are the sort of squiggly looking shapes. This is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. I think I cleaned that up. That was okay. Don't panic. Nobody panic. We're okay. Oh, I'm going to get a Tetris here. That's going to be nice. It's going to make me happy. I couldn't get 5 because there's a hole. So now I need to try to fill in that hole, but that's going to be hard. Yeah, because that happens every time. Every time something wants to fall and tip. Because there's gravity in this game, constant gravity, your pieces will wobble. And as soon as one piece is wobbled, it will mess up everything else. No, don't! I was going to put this piece where you just leaned over to. So, you know, the next piece, look at this. There's this little gap here. Okay, I did clear it out, actually. I cleaned up. Huh, usually you can't do that because you have to, oh man, and it's just kind of perfect right now. I really would have liked to stand that piece up into that little space here. I don't know. Let me put that on the left. It's just a mess. Oh, my voice is going. I need to end this video soon. Stuff, pixels, movement, gravity, I don't know. Oh, I touched the piece too early there, so it cleared too early. That's me. No. Yes. Oh, I agreed. It fell in there on its own. No, that was bad. Oh, whatever. So, let me just stop for a minute. Remember what I'm doing. Can't slide in pieces. So, yeah. So, the big difference is the clearing a line. So, in this game, since you don't have to get 10 blocks filled completely, you can space your pieces out more to make room for other blocks to slide in, because you really only need 8 and a bit blocks to fill in. And if you look at the left side there, maybe you've noticed it already. It took me a few days to notice. I need to twist that. So there's my 8 platform of 8 blocks on the bottom. And as long as there's room for a long bar on the side, I don't know what side my camera's facing, then I'm building correctly. That's how I interpret what I'm doing. And it doesn't matter how much space these 8 lines take up, as long as there's just enough space at the end for the long piece to go down. This is bad. And I constantly straighten out my pieces. Ooh, that's really bad. So that gap right there to the side of this is 1 wide. It looks wide, but it's really just one block wide. And that's the piece I needed. I needed this J fit in there. Every Tetris piece has a nickname that's a letter. There's S and L. Dang, I keep saying that. S and Z are the squiggly ones. Then L and J are the tall ones with the flat end. And then T is the one that's shaped like a T. And then the long bar, sometimes called an I, or a long piece, or a line. I usually call it a long bar because that's mostly what they called it in the Tetris movie, the documentary, the Ecstasy, whatever. Sometimes I just call it the long piece instead. I think that's what Jonas calls it. Maybe he calls it the line piece. I think, whatever. Doesn't matter. I call him Jonas like we're buddies. Like, I can call him his first name. I should call him Sir, Mr., Master, stuff like that. I think somebody in comments calls him Mentor or Senpai. I can't remember which one. They're both great nicknames. So this is not Tetris. So getting back to my original point, the reason I like to think of it as the sequel that was never made is because if you've played the original Tetris 2, it's not like Tetris. Because the mechanics in Tetris are so perfect. If you're tasked to make a sequel, how do you make a sequel? You can't take the existing mechanics and make them better. You can't innovate, so you have to just come up with something new. So, not Tetris, the original not Tetris. No, the original Tetris 2. Let me get my words all right. That's a challenge for me. Even harder than doing well in video games. Doing well in video games is easy. Because it depends on the video. Anyway, the original Tetris 2, it's about lining up colors. You get 3 colors in a row and you clear those colors, and you're trying to clear out some specific blocks to finish the level. And it's just, you know, it's not Tetris. It has the same sort of blocks with some innovations, which I guess you can say, hey, you did something innovative with the game, but it doesn't improve it. They're not better. I mean, there's still 4 blocks, but they're like split pieces where, you know, you have 2 blocks like this and 2 blocks like this, and they're touching corners. Maybe I should demonstrate like that. So I guess whatever. But this game takes the original concept of Tetris, this is classic Tetris, with an actual innovation. The mechanics are the same, you know, you're clearing lines, the blocks are the same, but the physics are new, you know. There's gravity, constant gravity, and the pieces rotate, so the possibilities go from this very finite 90 degrees to an infinite, nearly, realistically infinite, you know, rotation and placement, and, you know, you can clear out half of a piece and leave the other half there, and it's going to mess up or alter, let's say, the position of every piece that comes in contact with it. So, in my mind, this is a proper sequel to the original Tetris. And since I say Tetris is the best game ever made, video game, let me be clear, as a, you know, tabletop gaming nerd, that's an important distinction for me. Since Tetris is the best video game ever made, I'm so excited to finally have a proper sequel to it. In my, you know, little opinion. Whatever. So, everybody, I made a video. It's kind of long. I didn't get a high score. Whatever. My high score right now is pretty sweet. I've only gotten the rocket twice. You get the rocket at 5,000 points. This has been Bertrudor playing not Tetris 2. Really not going to do commentary in any of these upcoming videos. They're just going to be me playing the game. I'm just trying to get PBs. But this is to warm up my microphone and warm up my speaking for the next videos, because I have serious LPing to do. Thanks for watching.